Something feels different at Larson Farms, and longtime viewers are starting to notice. For years, the channel has been a comforting window into real farm life. Early mornings, massive harvests, and the kind of family teamwork that kept fans coming back episode after episode. But recently, subtle changes have sparked quiet concern across the community. Familiar faces aren't appearing as often. The energy seems slightly shifted, and viewers are asking the same question. Is something going on behind the scenes? While nothing dramatic has been officially revealed, the growing uncertainty has people watching closer than ever. So what exactly has fans worried? And is this just the beginning of a much bigger change? For a channel built on routine, hard work, and familiar faces, even the smallest change doesn't go unnoticed. And lately, Larsson Farms viewers have been picking up on something they can't quite ignore. It started subtly. A missing appearance here, a quieter dynamic there, so the kind of shift you might brush off at first. But when patterns begin to change on a channel people have watched for years, curiosity quickly turns into concern. Fans who tune in daily are used to seeing the same tight-knit operation running like clockwork. That consistency is part of what made the channel feel authentic, almost like viewers were extended members of the farm. So when certain personalities seemed less present and the overall rhythm felt slightly off, comment sections began filling with questions. Some viewers wondered if it was simply the reality of farm life. After all, agriculture is unpredictable, demanding, and heavily tied to seasons. But others aren't so sure. The farming world is built on legacy, and whenever a multi-generational operation shows signs of transition, people naturally start asking what comes next. Nothing alarming has been confirmed, at least not publicly. Still, the silence has only made fans listen closer. Because when something this steady begins to shift, it usually means a bigger story is unfolding just beneath the surface. Long before the recent questions started swirling, Larsson Farms earned its reputation by doing something surprisingly simple, showing farm life exactly as it is. No overproduction, no fake drama, just real days filled with breakdowns, long hours, unpredictable weather, and the constant pressure that comes with running a large family operation. That raw honesty is what pulled viewers in and kept them watching. At the center of it all is a true multi-generational farm, where experience meets newer ideas to keep the operation moving forward. Fans didn't just subscribe for the equipment or the harvest updates, they stayed because of the people. Over time, viewers learned everyone's roles, personalities, and even their humor. Watching the channel began to feel less like entertainment and more like checking in on neighbors. That's exactly why the recent shift feels so noticeable. When an audience becomes this familiar with a routine, even small differences stand out immediately. And on a family farm, change is never just logistical. It often signals something deeper, like evolving responsibilities or the quiet passing of the torch. Of course, growth is natural for any long-running operation. But when a channel built on stability starts to feel unpredictable, loyal viewers can't help but wonder what's happening behind the scenes, and whether the farm they followed for years might be entering a brand new chapter. The first real hints that something might be changing didn't come from a major announcement. They came from small moments that loyal viewers immediately caught. On a channel where consistency has always been the norm, fans began noticing that certain familiar faces weren't showing up as often. At first, it seemed easy to explain away. Farming is intense, schedules shift, and not everyone can be on camera all the time. But as the pattern continued, the questions only grew louder. Then viewers started pointing out that the overall tone of some videos felt different. The usual fast-paced teamwork appeared slightly quieter, and longtime watchers claimed the dynamic just wasn't quite the same. Nothing dramatic, nothing openly addressed, just enough of a change to spark curiosity. Naturally, the comment sections became a guessing game. Was someone stepping back, taking on a different role off camera, preparing for retirement, or was this simply the reality of a growing operation adjusting to new pressures? What makes it more intriguing is that the Larsson team hasn't made any clear statement about a major transition. And when creators known for openness suddenly go quiet on topics fans are asking about, it tends to amplify the mystery. But those subtle clues were only the beginning, because once viewers started comparing notes, the speculation spread faster than anyone expected. Once the first questions appeared, it didn't take long for the conversation to spread beyond the comment section. dedicated viewers carried their theories into online forums and social media, where the speculation quickly picked up momentum. Some fans began discussing whether the farm could be approaching a generational transition, something that happens quietly on many family operations but can completely reshape how things run day to day. One topic that keeps resurfacing is retirement. Farming isn't just a career, it's a lifestyle that often spans decades, sometimes passed down through multiple generations. So whenever an experienced figure appears less frequently, people naturally start wondering if they're preparing to step away from the physical demands of the job. Of course, none of this has been confirmed, but that hasn't stopped viewers from reading between the lines. Others believe the changes could simply reflect growth. As farms expand, responsibilities shift, newer leaders take on bigger roles, and not every adjustment gets explained on camera. Still, the lack of clear answers has created an information gap, and when that gap opens, rumors tend to fill it fast. Yet what's most interesting isn't the speculation itself. It's how invested the audience has become. Because when viewers start analyzing every detail, it usually means they sense that something important may be unfolding. What's making fans even more uneasy isn't something the Larsson team has said, it's what they haven't said. Normally, the channel has built its reputation on transparency. Viewers are used to hearing about equipment failures, crop challenges, weather setbacks, and major farm decisions. That openness created trust, which is exactly why the current quietness feels so unusual. Despite the growing questions, there hasn't been a direct explanation addressing why some things appear different. No big announcement, no emotional sit-down, no clear update about a transition. And when a channel known for sharing the highs and lows suddenly stays silent on a topic viewers are clearly focused on, it naturally grabs attention. Of course, it's important to remember that not every personal or business decision belongs on the internet. Farming is still a family livelihood, and some conversations happen off camera for good reason. Privacy doesn't automatically mean something is wrong. Still, the absence of clarity has left room for interpretation, and viewers have filled that space with their own theories. Some believe the farm is simply evolving behind the scenes, while others suspect a larger shift is being handled quietly. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is clear: the silence itself has become part of the story, and fans are listening more closely than ever. What makes this situation hit harder than most channel changes is the connection Larsson Farms has built with its audience. Over the years, viewers didn't just watch the farm, they grew attached to it. Morning chores, late-night repairs, stressful planting windows. It all created a sense that fans were witnessing real life unfold, not just content designed for clicks. For many people, tuning in became part of their routine. Some viewers even say the channel feels grounding, a reminder of simpler, hard-working values in a fast-moving world. So when that familiar rhythm starts to feel slightly off, it's not just noticeable, it's personal. There's also the reality that family farms carry deep emotional weight. They represent legacy, stability, and continuity. The idea that something could be shifting behind the scenes makes longtime followers uneasy, even if they can't point to a single dramatic moment. But concern doesn't always come from negativity. In many ways, it reflects loyalty. People worry because they care about the farm, the family, and the future of something they've invested years watching. Still, that emotional investment raises a bigger question. If viewers are sensing change now, what does it mean for the road ahead? Because in operations built on tradition, even quiet transitions can signal the start of an entirely new era. Whether these concerns turn out to be something major or just a temporary shift, one thing is undeniable. Larsson Farms has reached a moment where viewers are paying closer attention than ever before. When a channel builds its identity on consistency and family tradition, even the smallest ripple can feel like the start of a much larger wave. But change isn't always a bad sign. In fact, for many family farms, evolution is the very thing that keeps them alive across generations. New leadership, fresh ideas, and adjusted roles can strengthen an operation rather than weaken it. The challenge is that transitions often look uncertain from the outside, especially when they unfold quietly. For now, the Larsson team continues doing what they've always done, working the land, pushing through unpredictable seasons, and sharing pieces of that journey with millions of viewers. And maybe that steady dedication is the biggest clue of all, because while routines may shift, the foundation that built the farm hasn't disappeared. Still, loyal fans can't help but watch a little more carefully, listening for updates and searching for reassurance that the channel they've come to rely on isn't drifting too far from what made it special. After all, sometimes the most important chapters don't begin with a big announcement, but with subtle changes that only the closest observers notice. Right now, the biggest mystery isn't whether Larsson Farms is changing, it's how big those changes might actually be. Every long-running family operation reaches a point where roles evolve, responsibilities shift, and the next generation begins taking more control. It's a natural cycle in agriculture, but that doesn't make it any less emotional for the people watching from the outside. Some viewers believe what we're seeing could simply be a period of adjustment. Farming has always required flexibility, and sometimes the biggest decisions happen quietly, long before they're ever mentioned publicly. Others are convinced this feels different, like the early stages of a major turning point that could reshape the channel's future. At the same time, there are plenty of reasonable explanations. Workloads change, priorities shift, life outside the camera still exists. And not every transition needs a headline to be real. But when subtle clues begin stacking up, it becomes harder for dedicated fans to ignore the possibility that something significant is underway. For now, there are more questions than answers. And maybe that uncertainty is exactly what keeps viewers refreshing the channel, watching closely for any hint about what comes next. Because if this truly is the beginning of a new chapter, the way Larsson Farms handles it could define the channel for years to come.